Welcome to Commodore OS Vision.
Feel like a kid at Christmas in 1982. This is a new Commodore. This just feels unreal. Our Commodore Amiga running on our Commodore 64. Breaking news. In April of 1994, Commodore went bankrupt. That's not the breaking news. Leaving, of course, machines like the Plus for the Commodore 65 and the Amiga to the history books. But today, and I can't actually believe I'm making this video, Commodore is back, and so is Commodore 64. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about some random company pretending to be Commodore or some kind of games emulating device for the Commodore 64. Great fun though they are. And also, I should point out that the C64 Mini and the A500 Mini and their Maxi counterparts are fantastic fun, and I still recommend them for anyone that wants to get into Commodore gaming. But to be clear, what we're talking about today is aiming at a different part of the market, because today we're discussing the real Commodore as ordered by the United States District Court and a fully fledged real computer. The only question is, should I buy one? Or maybe two. Yeah, I already have them here, and this is it, the Commodore 64x. It is carrying the Commodore Quality Seal of Approval, and it is a full high-spec PC, optionally running Commodore OS Vision 2.0. It's available in multiple configurations on their website and different colors, or you can just get the Case+Keyboard and put your own mini ITX PC in there if you prefer. And best of all, being Commodore, it is backwards compatible with the entire Commodore computer range, right back to the Commodore PET. That one seems to have shrunk in the dishwasher. Well, either way, welcome to Retro Recipes, where we're about to unbox and explore the new Commodore 64. Come on, PET! Alright, now before we get unboxing whatever deliciousness is inside these boxes, and I am so excited I could explode. Yes, happy Halloween, everyone. I think it's important first just to understand what this machine is, how it came to be, and why it's officially Commodore. And so to understand that, here's a very simplified timeline of the true Commodore brand ownership. In April 1995, ESCOM acquired Commodore's assets and tried to reboot the Amiga 1200 with a new logo and packaging. But when ESCOM soon ran out of lives, Tulip Computers bought the rights to the Commodore brand, whilst the Amiga eventually went to Gateway 2000. Speaking of the 2000s, 2004 was the year Tulip failed to make it bloom and sold Commodore to Geronimo for $22 million. Actually, true story, I did try to invest in Commodore and was told that I could have stock options starting at $20 million, so quite cheap then. I bought 7. And then from 2010 to 2013, there was more wrangling over Commodore's fate than a joystick at a retro gaming party, and the offshoot of Geronimo that owned the brand, called C Holdings BV, was awarded to 2 Dutch businessmen who had invested in it by the Southern District of New York Court. And that is where the true ownership has remained for 11 years, with Albert Eben and Jan Hoogstraat, and the company now known as Commodore Corporation BV. Now, they are extremely protective of the brand and don't put that Commodore quality seal on just any product. In fact, I think there's only been 2, which is why we've hardly seen anything officially Commodore since 1995. But I do think it's important I mention just 2 other entities. Firstly, iComp.de, who I'm big fans of, do sell this Commodore 64C case, which uses the original Commodore molds from Dallas and is officially licensed from Commodore Corporation. And I think it's kind of nice and fitting that the only 2 officially licensed Commodore items that I know of in the world center around the Commodore 64 and the 64C. If you need a new case, go check them out. It's a shell of a thing. And separately, in 2010, Commodore USA successfully licensed the name from Commodore Corp for their Commodore 64x. Yes, a quite similar looking PC, albeit with vastly different specs compared to today. But you've probably seen this more in pictures than you have on desktops, and that's because the CEO, Barry Altman, who had a wonderful and legitimate business going on, as you can see here, well, it was very sad when he passed away in 2012 from cancer at the age of just 63, and production was suddenly cut very short. So then in steps Sean Donoghue, who has worked with Commodore Corporation BV as the mastermind behind today's new Commodore 64x. Donoghue acquired Altman's stock and website, and crucially got Commodore USA's CTO, Leo Negro, on board. He's the guy behind Commodore OS, and has updated it to version 2.0 for this new machine. But not only that, Leo was the guy who came up with the Mini ITX Commodore idea to begin with, which Barry Altman ran with. And if you don't believe it's official, here's the letter I was sent, written by Commodore Corporation BV themselves, who were awarded the Commodore brands by the courts. I think I'll frame this. Right, enough history, let's unbox the future. Hopefully it's got a bit more than 64K of RAM. And I can see right now there is an option there for 4 gig and 8 gig, so I think we'll be okay. But this, as you can also see, is the Barebones version. So there are 2 versions, as I mentioned in the intro. Let's unbox this first, look at the Barebones, and then get into the meaty one in a minute. Beautiful packaging, and I should mention Commodore and the logo are trademarks of Commodore Corporation BV. I do tell you here it comes in 3 versions. I think those specs are always changing, and the configurator is actually on the website in the link below, so check that out because you can just build your own. We're not a PC channel here, so I won't be getting too deeply into that, but we're going to certainly see what this is. And as with the original, welcome to the world of friendly computing. Feel like a kid at Christmas in 1982. My heart, oh my gosh. Look at this, RGB effect control keys. Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. It's a button. Can you see how glossy those keys are? They are just, I want to chew them like a candy. Oh, God, and this is just an empty case. It's official. Again, serial number 12. And there it is, honoring that legacy, designed by Commodore USA and my retro computer. Commodore Corporation. Yeah, you know, for whatever you might have been thinking in the intro of, maybe some of you were thinking, yeah, right, another one. It's very clear when you are holding this that this is something special. Can't get over it. Let's take a peek inside here, and then we'll move on to the real deal. Look at that. Would you look at that? So that's the hard drive bay. There's your USB ports on the side there where they make sense, where the joystick ports were, right there. And this, my biggest fan, and that keyboard, LED galore. Now I think our other one is LED, so I won't boot this one up because there's nothing to boot. And you know what? I think, to be fair, I don't need 2 of these. I'm going to keep the PC because I'm going to be doing some fun stuff with that. I might even use it for some video editing. But what I'll do is put this up for raffle. So check out the link in the description and just here on the bottom of the screen, where you can win this. We'll give 10% to charity, as always, and the rest will be used to provide brand new major projects for you guys in the community to enjoy. God, no, trust me. It's really, really nice. However, this is the exciting bit, isn't it? And a whole different back of the case. And that's what I'm going to look like in about 5 minutes. Would you look at this thing? I'm too excited. I'm paralyzed with excitement. Okay, we've got PSU. This just feels unreal. Really, really. Holy shit, that's gorgeous. Oh. This is just fantastic. This is, I think, the most exciting thing that I've ever received or felt, or held, or kissed. Beautiful. Don't tell Ladyfractic I did that. And there it is, serial number 123. And that seal of approval that you saw at the intro comes into play there, quality control pass. It's kind of similar to how Barry Altman had his QC checking station, where they would quality control their version of the Commodore 64. And yeah, some good lessons being carried on to this one. When I got my real Commodore 64 in the 80s, it took me a long time to actually unscrew it and start poking around and making modifications, but this feels a little special, a little different. Wow, it looks just like the original computer. Oh wait, sorry, no, that's video editing. Try that again. That's really special. Yeah, it's been a long time. I mean, a decade or two since I've built a PC, and I know so much has changed. But here's a very quick look at what everything is on here. And of course it's all running on top of the motherboard, which reminds me, PCB way! Make great quality PCBs, yes, even 4-layer motherboards like these, because as we all know, PCB stands for Persevering Commodore Brand, doesn't it? So there it is, guys, I've just built my first Commodore 64 real PC. That's the thumbnail sorted. At some point I've got to stop drooling and just go test it out, so come with me. Alright, we are all set up, and what a moment. I've been doing a bit of thinking about this and really trying to cast myself back to when I was 13, 14, getting my first Commodore 64. I think a lot of us in this community for many years have wished that those old companies would come back, that Commodore hadn't gone bankrupt. Atari is back, which is fantastic, and you know, they're bringing out new machines, or shrunken down minis, as we've seen many minis for the Commodore range. But this seems different to me somehow. Maybe it's just my love of Commodore, but the fact that it is the full size and officially branded and a real computer. Let's just do it. I'm going to power it on.
65, 69, 65, 10.
All right.
I want a Commodore 64.
That surprised me. I thought we were in BASIC for a second, but advanced options, just for fun. Okay, some different Linux kernels versions there. Memory test, I think we don't need to worry about that. Let's get straight into OS Vision. Now, before I hit boot, it is worth pointing out, you'll be able to configure how the computer comes, whether it comes with Windows pre-installed for a small extra fee, or Commodore OS, so you can boot straight into it, which is exactly what we're going to do now.
To my Commodore 64. I want my Commodore 64. The 80s have now gone.
Wow. I don't know if you can see the hairs on my arms are standing up on end. Okay. All these icons.
Welcome to Commodore OS Vision.
I didn't know this was ChatGPT. That is cool. This is fun. Okay, I see the angle they're going for here. Fun. So, and my mouse works straight away. I love that. What is that? Look at this. Look at these icons. Oh my god, I'm going to be having so much fun here. Okay, presenting OS Vision, a distinctive, attractive, advanced, stable operating system experience that includes an abundance of the greatest cutting-edge productivity, creativity, and entertainment software available in the open source world. We apologize, but telephone support is not available for Commodore. That's no apology necessary. Visit CommodoreOS.net for more info. Alright, I'm going to click OK.
To continue to use Commodore OS Vision, you agree to the following terms.
Don't know if to be scared or entertained. I agree. I don't need to say anything, do I? You get how cool that is. It's just a little checkbox. I'm already going crazy. Okay. Oh, we've got to agree.
Consider changing your password.
Change password. I'm okay. That's fine.
Check your date, time, and locale are correct.
Australia. Definitely correct. Let's go with Los Angeles.
These keyboard shortcuts will help you navigate the system and use the more advanced features of Commodore OS Vision.
Oh wow! It's got workspaces like Mac OS. Jeez, this is nice. Desktop cube, Control Alt mouse. Holy sh! I shouldn't swear, but what the? This is a new Commodore? This is amazing. This is more advanced than Windows. Oh gosh. Why? Because we can. How do I get out of it?
You might find these tips and suggestions useful.
My screen's on fire. Oh god. Oh, look at that, when you drag it, it wafts around like a leaf. Okay. Control Tab Mouse. Oh yeah. What a great feature. I can't tell you how exciting this is. If I was 14 years old and my Commodore could just do all this, just pressing some keys, it's just fun. That's what's missing from computers today. I've always said that. The Mac is a little bit fun. Commodore OS Vision is where it's at, guys. Screensaver, dare we? Commodore S.
Tell me what you want me to do.
The window is above the other window. I think I'm in love.
I heard that.
Sorry. There it comes. Classic Commodore games, demos, and music via the Commodore icon in the dock down there. Okay.
You might find these tips and suggestions useful.
I like some good tips. Free open source ROMs are included. System ROMs for other machines could not be included. So this is because, of course, Clemento owns the ROMs, whereas Commodore owns the brand and the trademark and such like. So if you go to C64 Forever or AmigaForever.com, you can buy legally the ROMs for the Commodore 64 and the Amiga, plug them into there. You may already own them, I already do. Many of us have done for other emulators, legally bought them. So that's where you put them, a little USB drive in the back. I thought this would be complex, but they've really laid it out simply, that's good. So we can right click. So let's look here, Commodore's home. That's my little window. Alright, so this is our folder structure. It's got MAME, so we could play Star Wars on here, Atari Star Wars. I just closed a window and it exploded. Reminds me of something I dreamt happened a few minutes ago. Yeah. Rubbish. I like that they are using the British. This is never going to get old. Why is that an icon of a Mac? That's I don't know if that's insulting or great. Network, USB drive. Right, let's look at these menus, shall we? We've got up the top here. And then at the top you've got all your stuff, Bluetooth, stuff like that. And then over here, applications, places, all the folders and stuff, and your preferences, and all the options updating and stuff. We'll come back to that. And then here, all the things you'd expect. Hopefully there's a calculator. Yes, there is. Oh, all the games that you get included. Now, this isn't a gaming video, so I won't go into a lot of those, but yeah. Steam and Wine. Oh, so this, you can run Windows software on this within reason, or within Windows. And graphics options, we'll come back to those. Internet, we'll browse the web in a minute. Office, programming, sound and video. I wonder if we can play some Commodore SID files. Never gets old. System tools. And that's where all the Commodore emulators are that I mentioned in the intro. You just launch them from that menu. The whole range. And oh my gosh, look at all these. We'll go into some of those in a minute. So that's the top menus. What about the bottom? Browse classic Commodore software. Look at that. It's the #1 icon. What? So let's just go for it, just because that's probably what we want to do.
Five hours later.
Keep yourself busy while it's loading. Who needs a cup of tea anymore?
5 hours later.
Yeah, that one didn't seem to work. So what I'm going to do is try and copy the official ROMs in there, and I do have them on the USB drive here. This is a USB drive I also use for Kit, which does give us the opportunity to...
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Kit, whom you may regard as the voice of the Night 2000.
This all feels very Foundation for Law and Government because of the transparent windows, and just, I feel like I could be Bonnie. Do I look like Bonnie? I don't know. Anyway, got my Commodore ROMs here. Copy those in, and then Amiga. Oh, it's Ethernet only. See, I'm so new to modern PCs, it didn't occur to me it wouldn't have Wi-Fi on board. But then again, it's a Commodore 64. We can forgive that. Now, it just so happens I do have a Wi-Fi to Ethernet adapter. This is the device here. Let's try that out. Actually, we can just power it with one of the USB ports on the Commodore. And all that flashing reminds me we should just turn on some of the flashing keyboard options here, shouldn't we? I really do like that one. Is it the Foundation for Law and Government, or is it the Starship Enterprise? Oh man. Alright, all I needed to do was reboot and we're online. So, let's do some fun things. First thing is install the latest Linux.
Do you like to update to the latest Linux kernel?
That's what I was going to say. So here we can select our Amiga ROMs, and there are the ROMs that I dropped in. So we'll go with 1.3. There it is. There we go, our Commodore Amiga running on our Commodore 64. I never thought I'd be saying that. There it is. And you could download any of your favorite Amiga games that you legally own already and put them in there to open. But you didn't come here to waste time looking at an Amiga on a Commodore 64. I still love that. First, of course, we have to reboot because we did update Linux. Reboot. It's just fun, isn't it? It really is. They've done an amazing job. I should mention while we reboot, Leo Negro, who developed Commodore OS with Barry Altman back in the 2010s, he reached out and said he's a huge fan of the channel and that he watches religiously with his family. So if you're watching this one, Leo and family Leo, well, thank you guys for watching, and seriously, well done on what you've created here. I'm having a magical time. I almost feel like I'm dreaming, and I don't mean that in a, just something you say like, feels like I'm dreaming. I have longed for Commodore to be back. When I said I tried to buy some of their stock options, I was trying to start, sorry, there it is. I was trying to start over Ethernet. I wasn't kidding and I wasn't exaggerating. I really wanted to do something to kickstart, excuse the pun, Commodore, and now there's no way I could have done it this well, with light up keys and official mouse mats and emulators that self-configure their ROMs and a flashing screen while my TV so my sincerest appreciation. Well done. Said we didn't want to play an Amiga on here, but maybe we do. Yeah, we do. Of course, it is 1990s operating system, so we do have to wait a little minute or two. The happiest boredom I've ever felt. I will mention it doesn't have the PETSCII characters, probably because it would have been more expensive to print on the front of the keys here. I do have a PETSCII keyboard that I developed called the C64x. So check that out at the link below if you want. But here we are in Workbench 3.1. Workbench, I miss you too, but today is a Commodore day. Alt Q to quit. Bunch of demos. Aquarium. Now, Ladyfractic loves fish, so let's see what this does. Yeah, it's not a fish. Excuse me. Getting flashbacks to that memory I have. What can I say? It runs Amiga stuff. Amazing. So what else have we got here? Commodore 16, Commodore 64. So let's try Dawnfall, a classic and a favourite. So now we've got our official ROMs in there. And now it looks very different, doesn't it? I was in War Planet. It is cool that Cloanto provide the ROMs and I was able to buy them from C64 forever. It is cool that Commodore Corporation BV owns the trademark and the branding. It is cool that sorry, I got slightly distracted by the music there. It is cool that there are all these different companies. Amiga, of course, is owned by someone else. Wouldn't it be great if they all came together? I'd love to create a conglomerate, call it the Commodomerate, or something like that, that houses everything, and we could just all be friends, and yeah, instead of the little squabbles that keep happening. Because this is what it's all about, man. Sorry, put that away. And needless to say, gamepads and joysticks do work, although I did find that in Vice, for example, I had to go into the Vice settings and configure which keys or which buttons did up, down, left, right, and fire. So you might need to set that up as well on your end, or even on your computer. And I should point out, I really like these shortcut keys as well. Instead of your function keys, which are now over here on the number keys, you press here for things like, if you want to open your file manager, there it is, just opens up on the screen. And also volume up and down, and so on and so forth. If you really want to go on the internet, or goodness forbid, check your emails, that's there too, along with media shortcut keys, which you access by pressing the function key here. Alright, now I mentioned the pet at the beginning of the video. Now there's nothing in demos right now, but I did download an amazing newish Commodore Pet demo. So let's go get to that. Go back to the pet. So let's see. Commodore Pet. Wow. Whoa. Okay. Attach disk image. Wow. I mean, I know that demo can run on a Commodore PET just fine. a computer from the 70s. But there's something about having it all wrapped up in this package, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Now, I forgot to actually update Commodore OS after I updated Linux, so let's just do that. Should have done this at the start, but we didn't have internet then, so that's why it's gone a bit backwards. But also that's an excuse. I was just too excited to get in and try everything. I'm a lucky guy. It says it may take a while, and it's finished. So interestingly, the other menu is where all the, I guess, other emulators hang out. So you've got 8-bit plus. Oh my gosh! didn't expect that to scroll. MAME for arcade games, Sega Saturn, ZX Spectrum. Got to be done. There it is, a ZX Spectrum running on a real official Commodore 64. Of course, it's got Wine, so you could, in theory, run Windows on here, Windows programs. And of course, you can just get a second hard disk, which is what this slot is for, and install Windows on there and dual boot into the two. So you're going to buy a high-end PC, you may as well. So I think we've seen enough emulators. I've been told to try and animate the wallpaper. I can't even say it, I'm so excited. So let's see if I can find that command.
Turning on the Commodore OS animated wallpaper.
That is nice. Even my Mac Studio can't do that. That's really nice. And that's a real wallpaper that's going to run in the background there. I was still updating as well. So obviously it is true multitasking. If you ever had any doubt that... Oh! That is trippy. Might be time to give up the Mac, hey, and do all my video editing on here. Actually, there is a lot of software on here. I wonder if there is a video editor. OpenShot video editor. Okay, I was kind of joking, but I could actually do it. Oh, this looks just like Final Cut, which is what this video is edited on. Amiga Deluxe Paint clone? What? Well, it's Deluxe Paint for Linux. Desktop publishing, photos, painting, Office. So you don't need Microsoft Office, you've got the full... Wow, look at this. See, that's the weird thing. It feels like I just opened WordWorth on an Amiga. If this was just a modern PC and, you know, in a stand-up case with lights and stuff and a USB keyboard by Logitech, I wouldn't feel that at all. But because it's Commodore OS and because it is in this shell, I'm telling you, like, I can't guarantee it, but I think, trust me, if you bought this and you wanted a second computer for like programming or just fun applications and video editing, whatever it is, I think you're going to get that feeling that we haven't had for 30 years in buying a new computer. And I think this does it. I really, really do. For me, I can't speak for you how you'll feel, but personally, as you may have noticed, it's slightly impressed me, slightly excited me. But I think channel Patreon Cubicle Nate said it better. Check out his YouTube channel in the video description as well.
This absolutely is a joy of machine to use. I find myself grinning from ear to ear just using it every day. What this computer is to me is my childhood dream come true. My Commodore 64 in a form I always wanted, and quite powerful with proper cursor keys. My childhood me, along with my adult me that has an almost unhealthy obsession with the OpenSUSE project, are now living in a kind of blissful retro modern harmony.
Speaking of programming, there it is, Visual Studio, and I noticed in the emulators it's got a Python runner as well. Sound and video, it's got Audacity for editing, ISO mastering, system tools. There's almost too much on here, almost. Utilities, archiving, zips, Fs, control center, and here's that free games installer that we were promised.
Would you like to install 54 of the best games for Linux?
Sure.
Installing games. This could take a while.
How about a nice game of chess? Oh, in case you wondered if multitasking worked and if it would crash, the answers are yes and then no.
Don't let the evil take you. Run! DNA scan confirms it's him, sir. Evil, come to the gas.
I think I may have gone too far, which may be my cue to shut down the machine. Oh wow, Commodore is back.
Walking on automatic landing beacon.
So there it is. We've played with the whole thing. We've explored the unboxing, and I'm totally and utterly in love. So what do I think about it, ratings-wise, review-wise? Well, you know, ultimately, this is the ultimate. Ultimately, it is just a PC once everything's booted up. But then again, with Vision OS 2.0, it's not just a PC. It is directly tapping in to your nostalgia in a modern format, but not in a kind of silly way like that plug-and-play joystick. You know, as I said, great fun though they are. It's as much a real computer in today's terms as the C64 and the Commodore 64 were when they came out. This, I mean, if you're a 14-year-old kid and you got this, you're going to carry nostalgia for this look for the rest of your life, regardless of whether you installed Windows or Linux or Commodore OS distro on there. It is just truly something special and magical that they've created here. The fact that it's fully licensed and Commodore branded and quality checked is just a whole other echelon on top of that. Regardless of the OS and all of that, when it comes back down to it, the quality of the build, the case, the Cherry MX LED keys, the way this thing feels, and the way it looks, the fact that you can configure it with your own choice of colors and keycaps and they light up, and there's too much going on here for this not to be awarded 5 chips out of 5. It is absolutely exceptional, and I hope that if you were ever planning to get a new PC, maybe you need a new gaming PC, and instead of playing Elite, you can play Star Citizen on this. Whatever it is, I encourage you to go and buy one, because if they don't sell enough, they're just going to discontinue them, just like ESCOM and Tulip, and yes, Commodore. And then we'll be back where we started. Lend this project your support, because it's official. I love it, and you will too. As for me, I'm going to go play with this some more and let you go. But thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe and support below, and C for cheerio.
See you later. One man can make a difference, Perry. Or one woman. Or dog. The Fractics, lone curators in a vintage world. The world of retro recipes.